Good morning. This is Mike Houston with your Monday morning weather hazard briefing for Southeast Idaho. Looking at our impact summary messages and bullets, we have a series of storms continuing to move through the region tonight through Thursday. That'll result in periods of heavy snow for the mountains and light to moderate snow in the valley locations. We expect to see periods of widespread blowing and drifting snow to continue through Thursday. And then as we look ahead, next weekend is looking mostly dry. Here we are looking at satellite imagery this morning. We have a low pressure system over western Canada. We have two disturbances moving through the flow around that low. The first is moving through Idaho this morning and will be sweeping into Wyoming here later today. And the second storm system is digging southeast through the northeast Pacific here and will reach the northwest coast later this evening and move onshore overnight tonight through Tuesday. Looking at our weather impact matrix, looks like a lot going on here. Let's focus on the red areas. That's where we have winter storm warnings out for the eastern highlands and the western portion of the central mountains today. The areas in brown are areas where we have winter weather advisories out, primarily for blowing and drifting snow. If you get into some of the valley locations of the eastern highlands, there may be some modest snow accumulations there this morning yet. As we work our way out to Tuesday, you see these conditions ongoing, and that will be as a result of the next storm system pushing into the region later tonight and continuing through Tuesday. Looking at ongoing winter storm warnings for the eastern mountains and western portion of the central mountains. I fully expect to see winter weather advisories issued with the afternoon forecast package today for all of the valley locations for snow and blowing and drifting snow. Looks like we get a break on Wednesday, and then with the next storm system on Thursday night, we could see moderate, maybe even high impacts here for the eastern highlands and western portion of the central mountains. We'll wait and see how that pans out when we get there. Looking at the storm track for this morning in our forecast charts, that low pressure system that I mentioned earlier on satellite imagery, here at least by noon today, clearing east into Wyoming. We'll be left with a fairly breezy westerly flow across the region. Additional snow accumulations today, maybe 1 to 3 inches up here in the central mountains this morning. Most of the accumulations will happen across the eastern highlands this morning from 2 to 5 inches. And the issue with that will be the blowing and drifting that we'll have from wind gusts across the region. So here we are looking at wind gusts this morning. So fairly stiff across the Snake Plain. Eastern highlands here this morning, and ongoing strong winds here across the mountain ridges in the central and southeast mountains. Winds will lighten up some as we get into the afternoon hours, so that'll help reduce the impacts from the blowing and drifting. We are expecting to expire some of those winter weather advisories for the valley locations by noon today, based on the trend here. As we get into this evening, that next storm system works into the northwest coast and then sweeps east through Idaho on Tuesday. As a result, we are expecting anywhere from 6 to 16 inches of snowfall here in the western portion of the central mountains and across the eastern highlands, where winter storm warnings continue in those regions. I do fully expect, as I mentioned previously, that the day shift with their afternoon package will be issuing winter weather advisories for most, if not all, of our remaining valley locations as a result of accumulating snow and blowing and drifting. And just to get a look at that, here we are looking at our wind gusts for overnight tonight. Not too bad, but when we get into the afternoon hours tomorrow, after the snow begins to taper off, we'll start pushing a lot of wind on that. We'll be blowing and drifting in large areas of the Snake River Plain, central and eastern mountains as well. So as I mentioned, expect some sort of winter highlights for almost all of southeast Idaho for late tonight through Tuesday. On Wednesday, it looks like we get a break as the next storm system sets up off the northwest coast. But as we work our way into Thursday and Thursday night, that storm system pushes onshore with accompanying snowfall. Looks like the brunt of the snow will be into the central mountains and Island Park region. Right now, these are just guesstimates of where we expect the prime areas of accumulation to be, but we may see highlights here in the west central mountains of Idaho and then also over in the Island Park region here. Valley locations look to escape with less than an inch or two of snowfall. However, we'll probably see windy conditions again, so we may see some blowing and drifting with that. So once again, looking at our impact summary bullets, we have a series of storms continuing through the region tonight through Thursday, resulting in periods of heavy mountain snow and light to moderate valley snow. We should see periods of widespread blowing and drifting conditions through Thursday, and then next weekend is looking to be mostly dry. That's all I had here this morning. If you had any comments, questions, or concerns, please give us a call here at the number on the screen. Thank you.